Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Oroke. I'm currently a first-year medical student at Loyola Stritch School of Medicine and the founder of Notebk, which is an educational platform for medical students and faculty. The purpose of this video today is to provide a general overview of Notebk and reasoning as to why I created it in the first place. Everything I'm going to be talking about can be found on our website, specifically in our handbook, which I will navigate to now. All right, so here's our mission statement. Go ahead and pause the video if you want to read through it. But I want to start by going through some of the current problems that students face when using LLMs and with medical school in general. First is content misalignment. As we all know, current LLMs are not trained on course-specific material, so that's why we get a lot of inaccuracies, hallucinations, and sometimes more material than we'd want. Next is content overload. Medical school curriculum is a lot. It's a lot of material in a short amount of time, and there needs to be better tools out there to digest the material. Which brings me to my next point, insufficient learning tools. Chatbots like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, while they are valuable and powerful, I don't think they're the most sufficient and best tools out there to learn. Next, regarding curriculum dissonance, the faculty aren't aware of what topics students are frequently asking about in these chatbots, as well as what questions they're getting wrong when generating practice problems. This leaves faculty unaware of content gaps and student struggles. And finally, and arguably most importantly, are privacy concerns. Students upload PowerPoint slides and handouts all the time to these chatbots for better context, but the unfortunate thing is, as we all know, these companies save this data and train their models with it. So there needs to be just a better way to securely handle all of this. And that's exactly why I built Notebk. Notebk specifically is a controlled and domain-specific secure AI platform that's meant to enhance LLMs through a technique called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. The way that this works is essentially we're hooking up an LLM to a secure private database of lecture transcripts, PowerPoint slides, and supplemental handouts. I'll explain how the security and privacy is ensured in a few moments. But I did want to highlight the demonstrated utility and demand for the platform first. So in the first 2 months of Notebk's release at Stritch, it's expanded to over 100 students using it at 2 other institutions. Over 5,000 queries have been processed and over 40,000 practice problems have been generated. So the numbers keep growing as I actually make this video. And with that being said, here's our platform's approach to enhancing education. All right, so the way that Notebk works is essentially it creates these controlled, secure, and I want to highlight institution-specific environments that only students and faculty from that institution can access. If you want, you can think about it like your school's Canvas or Blackboard system. So only authenticated users with that .edu email address can access that institution's content, right? And the way that I'm explaining this, and the best way to explain it, in my opinion, is through a visualization. So this is an example of what these institution-specific compartments would look like. Because I'm in the Chicago area, I'm going to be using these schools as an example. They each would have their own compartment with the course materials within it. And the thing is, these are secure databases. So a private compartment for each school, if you want to think about it. So as a Loyola student, I wouldn't be able to access UChicago or Northwestern's material even if I wanted to. And the way that this works is when students and faculty sign up, they have to use their .edu account, so it places them in the correct compartment. And B, there are a lot of layers of authentication and security in place to ensure that these compartments are truly separated and isolated from each other. And honestly, what I've realized is that this approach saves everyone 2 headaches. First, security and access control. As I've already stated, the proprietary educational material of an institution is completely secure and only accessible to students and faculty. And secondly, and very nicely, convenience and minimal maintenance. Because once these materials are there, they're there for everyone within that institution to use. The best part about this is that only one person is really needed to maintain the material for the institution, whether it's adding, modifying, or deleting content. So the way that I set it up at Loyola for my class is that a few students, including myself, actually maintain the content. So we as a group are constantly reviewing, adding material, and editing things just to make sure everything is up to date. There's really no need for students to keep uploading materials to chatbots or third-party resources anymore. Once it's there for students to use. Going back to the problems that I highlighted a few minutes ago, Notebk really is an ideal solution. As emphasized before, Notebk is grounded in official and verified lecture materials. All the responses and generated practice problems, everything is grounded within that material. The best part is that everything is also referenced. So after each response and practice problem generated, you can see where the material is coming from. And second, Notebook is a great way to sift through material easily. You don't have to go through downloaded PowerPoints and lecture handouts anymore, trying to figure out where you are. Now you can quickly search and find it. And again, everything is just referenced. Next, Notebook provides a great accessible learning tool set, actually. There's a chatbot, which everyone seems to be using nowadays, of course. There's a test center for generating practice problems, a flashcard generator for creating Anki flashcards, an analytics hub for tracking how you're doing with these practice problems in your own queries, a great tool set for students and faculty to use. Fourth, curriculum insights. This is a big one for faculty because they'll actually be able to have access to institutional data, specifically what students are getting wrong on practice problems, how they're doing in general, specific tests and query trends, as well as straight up what students are actually asking in the chatbot. I do want to emphasize that this is completely de-identified to protect students, but the analytics or patterns are there. They're just de-identified. And obviously this will help identify potential gaps in curriculum. All right. So, and lastly, database security. As I've kept reiterating throughout this presentation, the security of the database itself is institution specific. Only students and faculty, from that institution can access the material. And secondly, I do want to point out the enterprise level privacy at play here. Because we're on business plans with these third-party services, they're not allowed to save or use any material to train their models. It's in their policies. You can read them for yourself if you want. The best way that I could describe this is imagine signing a business agreement with another company regarding HIPAA compliance. It's just that easy. And with all that being said, I really hope that this presentation was a good overview into Notebook and the reasons why I built it. So if you have any, other questions, feel free to email me at matthew@notebook.org. The email's at the bottom of this page here. And I do want to say, again, everything here in this video is accessible from the website. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions. And thank you so much for listening.